Oh boy, Chase Van Zandt's 007. Is it going to be enough to stave off the crowd? And across the finish line, Matt Smith advances, as does Richard Gadsden. 676 for Gadsden, 673 for Matt Smith. But man alive, if Van Zandt's bike hadn't fallen.
He's going to have to do a number on Gage to be competitive off the starting line.
And he's going to wait him out. I love it. Braden Davis says, no, you can go first. And Gage says, no, why don't you go in, kid? And he will.
I'm your Huckleberry.
Here comes Herrera. Oh, boy. Oh, Herrera went red. Braden Davis finally beats a guy that has beaten him in semifinal rounds and final rounds. Both cars tear off. Coughlin was 500ths behind Glenn, and Glenn will march down to... Milliken has misfiring cylinders, back-to-back wins on the tour for Doug. And he's going to do it. Langdon smokes the tires and blows the engine up as Mercier runs down the drag strip to a 373.8 at 324 miles an hour. And it is...
As an NHRA winner, they're off and running on the green. Basically wheel racing to the finish line, and the win in stock at Charlotte is going to go to Morgan Taylor for the first time in her career.
A year ago, and Braden Davis, who raced his way into the countdown in round one. Are you kidding? Hector Arana goes red, and Braden Davis's motorcycle dies on the starting line for the second time this weekend.
Stewart respects the fact that he knows that Justin Ashley's right alongside. We know what happened to Doug Coletta the last time somebody was next to Justin Ashley.
They pile off into the afternoon. Ashley's got cylinders out. Explosion for Salinas. Explosion for Brown. It's Tony Stewart. Stewart wins in a totally chaotic final. Oh boy. Oh, double boy. Wilkerson red lights by a ton. Pedregon left the starting line like Cruz on ice, and he wins the round. They snap off, Cap smokes the tires, and there goes Bob Tasca, literally disappearing like a bullet down the drag strip. Goes 393.3 at 329. That is going to be a really nice run as we look at all the passes this session. Who will advance? Arana, remember, was early to leave last round, but somebody else was earlier. Steve Johnson's out first. A good run here, and at the finish line it will be Gage Herrera, the quickest of the quad, at 676, and Steve Johnson at 680, advancing over Ingerson 688 and Hector Arana Jr. 690. In the race car with Ron Capps, Wilkerson was 50 and Capps blows the body off. Massive explosion for Ron Capps, another one this season. Oh boy, Capps fighting for control, getting the car hauled down. It will be the 93 of Austin Prock advancing, and the 407 of Wilkerson as Bob Tasca III to start this chain of events. He went 002 red. Both cars picking the front end up. It's 100th separation on the starting line. Across the finish line stripe, and it will be Dallas Glenn, 660 with a 5. Heading down the racetrack, Coletta may have an edge. It is Coletta, 378, 335 miles an hour. Huge crash at the top end. Both cars involved, parts and pieces flying in every which direction. And Doug Coletta and Tony Stewart skid to a stop. This is a explosion, and it's still going to be Vandergrift. There are parts still flying through the air. The top of the engine just... Both cars are locked down. Header flames are up and down the drag strip. 3-6.
Ackles on the left side, the silver car without the wing. Torrey on the right, the blue car with the wing. And at the finish line stripe, it's going to be national event win number 2 for Allen.
This season has been incredibly impressive. He is off behind Gadsden by some 0.04 of a second. That is normally no good news. Finish line stripe, it's Davis. 681.3. What a battle. Left lane, the right lane's going to be the one you want to be in here. 409 beats our leg. And then it was time for the two titans of the category to clash. Dallas Glenn, Rad Torque Systems car, of course, and Greg Anderson. Because of that subpar qualifying position for Anderson, this was a round 2 matchup. Every pro stock fan in the grounds was leaning forward in their seats. This could have a championship ending for somebody.
It could. Both these drivers may look back at this one single round, and this really gets Greg Anderson back in the hunt for that championship, and he was stronger coming into this matchup.
Proc is last to stage. The cars leave the starting line. Riding with Ron Capps, they charge to the stripe, and for the second race in a row, it is Austin Proc. 387 at 300 of Nitro Funny Car. Red light start for Green. He's out of it. Smoke on the tires for Wilkerson, and it's once again Austin Proc. 391.2, 332 miles for Jake Coughlin, entering this race with an 0.20 reaction time average, actually probably bettering it to this point. Dallas Glenn's been giving everybody a couple of hundreds. He just gave him more, but there you go. It spins the tires. Coughlin is toast. Glenn moves on to the final. Wycombe Hall, the Norwalk winner this year, left the starting line next to a guy who seemingly can win everywhere but in the state of Pennsylvania, because John Hall stops Gage Herrera. They roar off the starting line. Reaction times with 1,000th of a second. The 2 KB Titan stars hit the stripe, and it is Greg Anderson. 6:55 wanted. Cloud cover has come in and out today. It has managed the track temperature, kept it in that perfect range. Beckman, oh boy, Beckman's across the drag strip and into the wall. A massive impact for Beckman as the right rear wheel has come off the car. Perhaps an indicator of why it did what it just. Stand and deliver time. Hartford was 17, she was 39. Matt Hartford trying to capture a second U.S. National. She got it! Man, to record a victory together. Corey Reed, 12. Dallas Glenn shakes the tires. Corey Reed is a first-time winner in pro stock. These men, can they pull within 45 or 20 respectively? They stage for the Funny Car final. Snapping off the line, Hagan's got him. Hagan's driving away. Matt Hagan's 20 points within 20. Dave Richards is going nowhere in a hurry. Tire smoke, and it's going to be Hagan, but who is going to coast across first? Chad Green went red, and so Alexis DeJoria with a 5:11 elapsed time goes to the final. It is Matt Hagan. And Klontz is leaning off the side of her motorcycle. John Hall, 009. Gadsden looks very strong in lane number 1. Gadsden wins it. And it will be the advancement of Matt Smith. So Smith and Gadsden advance. Hall was near perfect on the tree, but the performance fell off. Klontz's motorcycle just was moving her around, and she couldn't get it to elapsed time. Ron Capps got to move. Ron Capps is going across the finish line, and Capps on a hole shot. 4:01. Blake Alexander drove for Jim Head. They parted, they went their separate ways. None of those dissolutions of a marriage ends with everybody being happy. Blake wants this one bad. I know he does. And they both smoke the tires. Alexander's going to get around him. Blake Alexander, 463-1 at 200. Langdon's car hazes the tires, and Brittany now one. Tasca smokes the tires. Phil Burkhardt with the header flames up, goes 417 at 3. You can hear Ashley's car move first. Justin Ashley trying to stave him off. It's Ashley on a hole shot of all things. Of course it is. 383 with a. Torrance was in both bumps quickly, and he smokes the tires, and Tony completes the run. Is going on to the next round as we ride along the Total Seal piston rings on board.
Yeah, very much up for the challenge. You can see him hitting his marks on that shift points, and if you do the math, 200's better off the starting line, 200's better on the racetrack, and just padded this victory.
And it will be Matt Hartford moving on to the next round by... It's going to go down to lanes 1 and 2. Sean Langdon appears to have the pace. It is Sean Langdon. 371.4, 330 miles an hour. Field semifinals of the In-N-Out Burger Pomona Finals last year saw Stanfield and Anderson race. Stanfield beat him, stopped the championship. But at this point, Anderson stopped Stanfield last year, and now Stanfield stops Anderson here. Reed stays the car in there. Scaletta smokes the tires. Sean Reed wins the race, 384.4. And they just might, oh man, huge explosion for Hagan. Explosion and fire for Hagan, a 388 at 332 miles.